Good morning, beloveds. Okay, it is Good Friday. And just in one of those wondering kind of ways, I always wondered why they call it Good Friday when this is the day that they executed him. So, religion, it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing. But we are here for part 2 of the Beatitudes by Elizabeth Sand Turner. So it is March 29th. Tomorrow could be a long one too. Okay, this is what I get for looking ahead, right? All right, let's get at the Beatitudes. So, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Pure means unmixed, chaste, and free from defilement. A person whose heart is pure directs their whole attention to God, to good. Purity is one-pointed vision, the single eye, when the consciousness is so purified that we perceive only one presence and one power. We are in reality seeing God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Peacemakers are those who make peace outwardly because they have attained an inner peace. Since they are at peace with God, they are also at peace with others. They bring peace to all the conditions in which they are involved. We are children of God, but our kinship is merely an inherent potentiality. Until we gain peace of mind and express it, then we are the children in actuality. The children of God in actuality. All right. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. Persons who are persecuted for righteousness' sake are the ones who have spiritual ideas and yet encounter within themselves states of consciousness that oppose their ideals. These adverse states of consciousness belong to the race thought, much of which is still in each of us. When people do not understand our spiritual convictions, they are apt to misjudge and condemn us. This beatitude promises that we shall be blessed if we maintain our ideals in the face of inner and outer persecution. We should actually rejoice and be glad, for our steadfastness will bring great spiritual advancement. All right, that is flat out interesting, and I will tell you why I think that's interesting. We can go back to the other two in just a minute, but that last beatitude, that one is the one that I struggle with the most, and the reason why I struggle with it the most is because Christians like to think they're persecuted. They like to think that everybody is out to get them because of that beatitude. And what I find really interesting is like that beatitude in the Christian faith is the ultimate hypocrisy when we find them doing that to other religions. All right? Christians like to whine and cry, and yes, this is in my opinion, so let me state that clearly, this is my opinion, about how persecuted they are. And yet they are basically the ruling power in this land, and they persecute every other religion by saying it's our way or the highway. If you don't do it our way, then get out. Literally, there are Christians out there, not all Christians, in fact, probably not even most Christians, but the loud Christians. It's you believe what I believe or get out. And they like to make laws like that. And I'm like, that's not, your teacher said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. You should not be making laws against other religions. Go back to your beatitude, So we have this entire faith with this persecution mentality, and they are not being persecuted because they tend to be the dominant in their religion. So here's what I find really, really, really fascinating. She said internal. We're being persecuted by our own internal. Okay, see, now that one I can get behind. I can get behind how we are persecuted by our internal. We have this idea of God. Maybe it's one we've been taught, maybe it's one we came up with our own, and it's at odds with our experience. And so the persecution that we are suffering from is coming from within. She did mention race consciousness. There is a large degree. I mean, we've got how many thousands of years of religion? So, and you keep coming across different religions, and that I would imagine, it's like, well, wait, they believe this and they believe that, and so you've got to figure it out and get right with yourself. So I think that that's really fascinating. That she did mention the outside, when you stand up for your ideals. But really, honestly, that doesn't happen as much as you think. As much as the Bible made it seem like it was going to happen, it doesn't happen. To a large degree, Christians are not being persecuted for their beliefs. So, and yet the teacher who gave us the Beatitudes, who was Jewish, well, they still are being persecuted for their beliefs by a lot of Christians. So, and other people too. So, I'm not just picking on Christians. But I think it's very interesting that she said, people who are persecuted for righteousness' sakes are the ones who have spiritual ideas and yet encounter within themselves state of consciousness that oppose their ideals. You know what? Do your own work first. And that is exactly what New Thought is. That is exactly what Science of Mind is. Do your own work first. Remove the beam from your eye before you criticize the speck of dust in your neighbors. Do your own work. So all of the states of consciousness that crop up within us, that we've been taught, that are part of, as she says, race consciousness, all of those states of consciousness, for those negative thoughts that pop up, that's where we're being persecuted. We're doing it to ourselves. Do our own work first. I'd forgotten about that beatitude. And like, seriously, of all the Beatitudes, that one makes me the most crazy. But this one, yeah, let me do my own work first. Let me figure out where I'm persecuting myself first. Because if I figure out where I'm persecuting myself first, then I will probably stop persecuting you for the same thing. Because now that I'm aware of it, I'm not going to have to do it anymore. And that's one more thing that I have taken out of race consciousness for myself. And the more of us that remove it from race consciousness, then within ourselves, the more likely we are to remove it from race consciousness for everybody. That's that tipping point theory. And I forget, you can look it up, but it's like, if so many people pray for this, then it's going to happen. Meditate on peace or something, is where I saw that. It's like, if 10,000 people meditate on peace, we'll have more peace. So it's that tipping point thing. Go within yourself, look for where you are persecuting yourself, remove that. It removes the likelihood of you persecuting another unconsciously. And then we can get on with the world. Okay, now that I'm getting off my soapbox on that one particular beatitude, because there were two more in here. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. That's interesting. I mean, how many of us have gotten to this age and are pure of heart? We've seen things, we've done things. But what she reminds us is, if we refocus onto the whole attention to God, the whole attention to good, then we can still see God. So, it's like, all right, yeah, I've been around the block a few times, but I can refocus. And then the last one is, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. And I like that she says, our kinship is merely inherent potentiality. So we are the children of God. But, and there's a big but right there. Well, she says until we gain peace of mind and express it. So it's all well and good to call ourselves the children of God, but until we express it, that's where it is. So to be a peacemaker, again, you got to do your own work. You got to work from the inside. The peacemakers are those who make peace outwardly because they have attained an inner peace. Since they are at peace with God, they are also at peace with others, and they bring peace into all the conditions in which they're involved. You know those people. I strive to be that person. I strive to be that person. And that's one of those dichotomies. We don't believe in dualism, but we have dichotomies. And it's like, the crazier things are around me, the calmer I am. And sometimes, and this is where those of us, I want to be a peacemaker, but when things are peaceful and quiet, it's like the chaos stirs within me, and I'm like, this is not what I want. This is what I've been working on. I don't want to be, I want to always be calm when things are crazy around me. But I don't want things to have to be crazy around me for me to be calm. That's my work to do. The first time I heard Reverend Patrick Soren say, my growing edge, I about fell off my chair. That's my growing edge. I know the sounds, I know the song of chaos. I know the song of chaos. I know how to manage that. When things are chaotic around me, then I get quiet and I get calm. I don't get small anymore. And I manage. But I don't want to have to hear the song of chaos I don't want to have to manage. I think that's what I'm saying. I want to be a peacemaker. I want to be peaceful within myself and not to need that song of chaos around me to find that peace. I want to be peaceful with myself. And then, no matter what situation I walk into, I'm always bringing peace. I am very good at bringing peace into chaotic situations. Because like I said, I know that song and dance. I don't want to dance it anymore. So, and so clearly what she's telling me is I gotta learn to be peaceful all the time. But that's just it. So those people who, islands of peace. That's what I like. That's what I'm constantly working on. Making sure that I am an island of peace. Now, most people who know me would probably tell you I am an island of peace. I'm a calm and safe presence to be in. And then you can talk to my partner, and my partner will tell you she's a chaotic mess. Because he sees the not peaceful part of me. It means that I'm still working on it. It means that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I would like to think that in the 20 years, how long have I been at Creative Life? Oh, no. I've been there more. It'll be 20 years next year. It'll be 20 years because I think we found Creative Life in 2005. So in January, it'll be 20 years. I would like to think that in the 20 years that I am far more of a peacemaker than I was when I got there. So, but that's the thing about New Thought. That is the thing about Science of Mind. All of the New Thought traditions, we do our own work. If we want to make the world a better place, the best way to do it is to make us a better citizen of the world. And so we do our own work. And that is what is contagious. When I walk into a situation that's a little heated and I'm calm, and everybody looks at me and goes, well, why are you calm? And I'm like, because me getting upset is not going to help this situation. And everybody else goes, you're right. And everybody kind of calms down. Does it happen all the time like that? No. But it is interesting to watch when things kind of get a little, and everybody kind of looks at me. Mostly, the best example I can give you is power outs. When I go to my what I like to call my mortgage paying job, and there's no power, and everybody's like, how are we going to do this? And I'm like, oh, no, we've got a plan for this. And everybody goes, oh, there's a plan. And she's confident about the plan. She's not wound up. Or then everybody else, they come down a notch. And then as they see the plan in action, they go, everybody takes that deep breath. And the level comes down. Well, that's what the peacemakers are. In that beatitude, that's what the peacemakers are. They are people who are calm within themselves and just get on with it, and it spreads. And the peacemakers can spread just as quickly as the chaos makers, although the chaos makers are a lot louder. So look for that. The next time you walk into a situation that's kind of tense, look for the peacemakers. Look for the peacemakers. That would be what Mr. Rogers would say. Look for the helpers. So, all right. I just noticed the time, so I need to wrap this up. The mission today should be choose to accept it. I'm going to go back to the same mission I gave you yesterday, which is go read the Beatitudes. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to look them up to tell you where the Beatitudes were in the Bible, and I forgot. So what I need to do is look them up, and then I'll put comments on the video so you can see on the video where in the Bible they are. Go read them in context. Go see what Jesus was talking about that sparked the Beatitudes. It's always a good idea with the Bible to read it in context. Most of the trouble that we get from the Bible is when people take things out of context. The best example I can give you there is I believe it's somewhere in Deuteronomy where they're talking about don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. Well, they say one thing and people will tattoo that on themselves, and then just a couple of lines further down, they have a where they say don't tattoo yourself. So it's like, read it in context. Read it in context. I'm a big believer with the Bible. Don't take anybody else's word. Go read it in context. If we could all go learn Greek and Aramaic and read it in the actual, untranslated version, we'd be an even better, but not a whole lot of us have that kind of time. So, yeah. There is a Bible out there, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, where that's exactly what the author did. The author went back, learned Aramaic and Greek, and translated from Aramaic and Greek into English. It is a much more boring version of the Bible. It's not warm and colorful the way some of the other versions are. The King James Bible being one of the more colorful. That one, by the way, was translated with a political agenda. If you didn't know that, you can look it up. What is the name of that Bible? Because I own one. But that was his point. He's like, let me go back and retranslate this instead of translating it from this language to this language to this language to this language. You want an exercise in what that looks like? Take any song that you really like, plug it into a translation program, translate it into one language, and then translate it back into English. One language will screw the song up. Try doing it in 3 or 4. It's really interesting exercise if you want to know about translation. But that's neither here nor there. Go read the Beatitudes in context. That's the mission. The other mission is the same mission I give you every day. It is the spiritual practice of self-care. Do something loving for yourself. Do something kind for yourself. Do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like. My basic suggestions: take a walk, take a nap, take a break. Okay. The end goal is that everything you do for yourself and others be loving, kind, and compassionate. But again, as I said in New Thought, practice on yourself. You are your own best test subject, but more importantly than that, you deserve your own love, you deserve your own kindness, you deserve your own compassion. All right? Practice on yourself. All right. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I commend to you all of those medias. I archive these on the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel, so not on the Creative Life Spiritual Center. I don't want to clutter that up. And there's plenty of stuff on their video. They don't need mine too. So, and I think David has a YouTube channel too, but I've been meaning to go find out what it is. So, you want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact. All right. So, yep. I'm now at the part where I will encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a Friday, a wrap this week up day, a go enjoy the beautiful weather day, a go spring into it day, a we get to go to the park tomorrow day, a Good Friday for all of those celebrating the Holy Week, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in action, God in motion, a brilliant light, a divine spark, or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right? Explore the truth of your being. Okay. And there it goes. Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.